As we come on the air here at 6 o'clock, breaking developments in the Iran-Israel conflict. Massive bombings overnight and an all-out war of words between Iran and President Trump. We are closely monitoring what's happening overseas right now as we wait to see if the U.S. will get involved here. I'm Jason Hagen along with Alicia Lewis.
And our Michelle Beck is tracking everything from the live desk, and we'll update you in a moment. But first, we have to get out to the backyard with John Ziegler on the weather. It's going to be nice this week.
It's a great day today. Beautiful weather is settling in. It's actually summer. I mean, that's really what this is now. We got through a lot of storm activity. I don't see anything like Monday. No hailstorms or tornadoes. If we get storms in the next 3 days, it's going to be more of a classic overnight rain chance type deal, or pop-up thunderstorms, kind of more of that normal type thunderstorm day. 50s this morning in Brainerd, 54, 65 here in the metro. We have a little bit of patchy fog here. You can see 2, 3, maybe a little dense fog up in Iron Range. At this time of the year, the fog mixes very quickly. The brightest day of the year is on the 20th. We're getting close to the first day of summer, so that means the fog mixes out almost instantly at 6, 7 a.m. By the afternoon, we're in the 70s for a beautiful day. CC's here with traffic.
Hey, good morning. 601 roads look really great this morning. I want to show you a live look here in Minneapolis on 94 because between 35W and Huron Boulevard, things are down to 2 lanes. Both sides of traffic are now on the westbound side here while crews work on this eastbound side. Traffic will be over here until around the State Fair time. So around the State Fair time, though, this area will open back up. All lanes will be open and then work will continue. But right now in that area, things are pretty great. No slowdowns in that area. Take a look at the bigger map. Not seeing any crashes still at 602. Folks driving safe this morning. I will talk about a construction project happening tonight. Do you want to hear about it? It's near Jordan, and you will have to detour until tomorrow. So stick around for that.
Yikes. All right, Cece, thanks for the heads up. We'll check back in a bit. So let's get back to that breaking news happening right now out of the Middle East. The fighting between Israel and Iran enters a 6th day with a new wave of airstrikes overnight.
Michelle Beck is at the live desk where the situation is changing by the minute. Good morning, Michelle.
Well, good morning, guys. New details are flooding in, like Israel's ambassador to the U.S. telling the world to expect some surprises tomorrow night and Friday. That cryptic message comes as multiple officials tell NBC News President Trump is weighing a number of options on Iran, like a possible U.S. strike. So here's the president in the last 24 hours. We now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. Also this, we know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. But Iran warns any U.S. intervention would risk all-out war in the region. You're taking a look at some footage from inside the country as Israel says it is taking out Iranian fighter jets and destroying ballistic missile launchers. Overnight, Israel says its warplanes even hit a facility used to make uranium centrifuges, and all that's part of an attempt to eliminate Iran's nuclear program. Look at all the people rushing out of Tehran there. Iran, too, has launched 400 ballistic missiles at Israel since Friday. That is according to Israeli officials. Now, with the U.S. possibly getting involved, many lawmakers in both parties are calling for approval before any military action, and that approval, guys, would come from Congress. Look here at Senator Bernie Sanders writing, "It is Congress that determines whether we go to war, not the president. Trump must not take illegal military action against Iran." Back to you.
Michelle, thanks for the breakdown of that. 6:03 is your time, and it's going to be an emotional night at the state capitol tonight as the Minnesota House DFL holds a candlelight vigil honoring Melissa and Mark Hortman.
Audrey Russo is live there this morning with what you need to know. Audrey.
Yeah, Jason, Alicia, the vigil will start at 8 o'clock on the Capitol steps behind me, and you can see a growing memorial to former Speaker Hortman and her husband. There's some chalk drawings, a lot of flowers and signs. Now, the Capitol building will actually be shut down to the public during this hour-and-a-half-long event, and attendees are asked not to bring signs. We've been told this will be a quiet, peaceful event. This is just one of several memorial events over the past few days honoring the former speaker and her husband. Those attending the vigil tonight are asked to bring their own candles, and there's actually not going to be any speakers. But in the last 24 hours, U.S. Senators Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith both spoke out, paying tribute to the former speaker on the Senate floor. They also both called for an end to politically motivated violence.
I'm sure in the days to come we will offer legislation on security and all kinds of things. But we don't need to pass a law for people to turn down the rhetoric.
Millions of Minnesotans are better off because of the work that she did.
Yeah, that's just a small outpouring of a large movement to honor this former speaker and her husband. Now, in the next 30 minutes, we're going to talk a little bit more about former Speaker Hortman's husband. He was a very supportive spouse to her political career, though he was not a public figure himself. We'll learn a little bit more about some of his hobbies and his work. Again, that's coming up in a half hour. Jason and Alicia.
It's sure to be a somber, emotional night at the Capitol here tonight. Audrey Russo reporting live. Thank you so much. We have exclusive new details this morning of the mounting case against Vance Belter. Lou Raguse sat down with acting U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson, who explained how they were able to elevate it to a federal level because of how he found the victims.
He was stalking his victims using the internet and other means of interstate commerce, which gives us a federal stalking charge. And obviously, it's about the most serious case that there can be, and so federal charges seem appropriate here.
The Department of Justice could decide to pursue the death penalty, which would be a first here in Minnesota. Belter is due in court again next week, but that could change if a grand jury indicts him before then. You can watch Lou's entire interview with Thompson right now on KARE11.com.
Happening in just over 4 hours, the mastermind in the Feeding Our Future bribery plot is expected to plead guilty in federal court. Abdiaziz Farah is one of 5 people involved in the attempt to bribe a juror in the first Feeding Our Future trial. U.S. Attorney Andy Lugar says Farah recruited one of the defendants to create a script for the juror to follow to convince other jurors to vote not guilty. Farah is also accused of paying a Seattle woman to deliver a $120,000 bribe.
Well, this morning we are learning of big changes coming to General Mills Food. The Golden Valley-based company says it's eliminating artificial colors from all of its U.S. products in the next 2 years. The company says 85% of its products are already free of artificial dyes, but everything else will be updated by the end of 2027. General Mills says it's moving to natural dyes for food served in schools by next summer.
We have some new renderings into the newsroom this morning of the Veteran Village coming to Eagan. Crews are going to be breaking ground here in just a few hours. Housing First Minnesota says that the project aims to end veteran homelessness in the state. And when it's all said and done, it's going to be the first multi-unit community supporting 36 veterans and their families. It's expected to be done at the end of next year.
Well, we got to talk